Hey there, Toonami faithful, and welcome back aboard Toonami Absolution, where we talk about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. Once again, we are your hosts. My name is Alex.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John. Digimon, the movie. US got this October 6th, 2000. Japan didn't get this at all. We'll get to this. Sam, this was your choice, so lead off.
We've done a couple Yu-Gi-Ohs. We've done Pokemon movie a few months ago. It felt like the hole in our collectathon anime movie experience was Digimon, which I kind of preferred to Yu-Gi-Oh and Duel Masters and all that. And I remember this was a thing, and I didn't remember that it was basically a Frankenstein job, and that it had the bare naked ladies on the soundtrack.
And
So
Smash Mouth.
and
And Smash
Smash.
Mouth.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. This is as late 90s, early 2000s as it gets. So yeah, this was a trip. It's hard to find legally anyway, because of the distribution and production history I'm sure John is about to regale us with. So take it
Yeah,
away.
this is three movies smashed together. So basically the story is Fox Kids were like Pokemon made loads of money. Digimon is basically Pokemon's sister franchise to us. Not in Japan, but to us it is. So we need a feature-length movie. They went to Toei, like, what do you got? Toei, we don't have any Digimon movies. We have these three anime fair movies: 1999's Digimon Adventure, 2000's Digimon Adventure R War Game, and then 2000's two-part film Digimon Adventure 02, Digimon Hurricane Landing, and Digimon 002 Transcendent Evolution, the Golden Digimals. And so they were like, okay, do something with this footage. So Jeff Nimoy, who is the screenwriter, one of the screenwriters for this movie, did a lovely retrospective on his website. It's unfortunately been taken down, but I have a copy of it. But he basically explains all the problems with this. So, first thing was to watch the three parts we had to turn into one coherent movie. I loved the first one, Digimon Adventure. It was so nostalgic with lovely childlike animation. Then came Digimon Adventure R War Game. Fantastic. This is the one I was most excited about. The animation was slicker than the series and the kids were slightly more grown up. Tons of potential for comedy and storylines. And the ending, great. Big moment, joke, blackout. Fun day at the movies for everyone. And then we watched the third movie, Digimon Adventure 02. Catchy title. It was slow. We weren't thrilled. The thought of squeezing this footage into the other two was a puzzle to be solved for sure. I was very concerned it couldn't be done, and even if it could, should it be done? So originally they weren't going to combine all three. So it's like, my idea was to use the first two parts for Digimon the movie, have Ty narrate to tie the two stories together. Then we use part three to make a separate straight to video release, or add it to the bonus features for the DVD release. Terry, who was one of the production staff for the Digimon anime, wanted to use the second and third parts for Digimon the movie, then they could use the first part as a TV special or DVD extra. Haim Saban, who ran Saban, asked Bob, and Bob what he thought he was right, but then this got nixed due to legal, because the head of legal and Eric both had concerns we were obligated to use all three parts in Digimon the movie. There were a lot of moving parts between Saban, Fox Family, 20th Century Fox, Toei Animation, and Toymaker Bandai. The decision was that we could cut down part three considerably, but we had to use a decent portion of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so basically, legally, they had to combine all three movies into one, but even he admits that what he dislikes the most about this film is introducing 8 new major characters an hour into the movie, which is what happens when part. Because yeah, this is split into three with one narration, but the third part just jumps and we get a whole new cast. It's a bit of a mess.
Yeah, it's this one feels pretty disjointed. It's also how many times do we hear the Digimon theme in this movie?
A lot. We hear the Digimon theme quite a bit in this movie.
I stopped keeping count after 6.
I I remember seeing this movie in theaters. I genuinely remember seeing it. Like I remember going to it because I liked Digimon a lot as a kid. I remember really liking it, and I have not seen it again until today. So it has been a long time, and I forgot that it feels like a bunch of music videos kind of like stitched together.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are a
Yeah.
lot of musical montages in this film. They make full use of the soundtrack. Any slow moment is covered with music.
Yeah, they and like I was saying, this is a very it's also ska's a thing. Like this is a very like late, I guess this just predates Sonic's use of ska. This predates Sonic Adventure 2, I believe.
Fun fact, this was the beginning of the death of ska.
Yeah. Like yeah, it's very much of its time. It feels of its time.
I love the
You know,
implication that Scar can die.
ska, that musical genre that was popular from the summer of 1996 to the summer of 1996.
Look, you can tell what year this was made when the mighty mighty Boss Tones are on the soundtrack, who are a band who seemingly would license their music to anyone, but existed for about 7 months.
Yeah. The Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, Bare Naked Ladies,
Big Bad
Smash
Food.
Mouth.
Bare Naked Ladies are still going. I saw them on a train recently,
Yeah. Less than Jake, they're still around.
Less, I didn't say
but
they
not on a
weren't still
train.
around.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that they exist in a very specific 95.5 WPLJ bubble. You know what I mean?
See, I think that there's this cultural thing because Bare Naked Ladies are Canada still very, very popular. They are our big export. Hence why
Yeah.
literally this Christmas they did a tour around Canada on a train, performing at train stops.
It's maple syrup and Bare Naked Ladies.
Because the
Yeah.
arrogant worms never sold enough
Yeah.
records.
Yeah, now that Letterkenny's done, it has to fall on something else.
Yeah.
But the
It's been 1 week.
It's
that's just
been
the
one
impression that I
week.
get. Uh
That was funny.
I get one a year.
yeah. Uh just gotta do the Scott this anyway, yeah, so it's a whole Tai, our nominal protagonist, and Agumon, our nominal lead Digimon. We kind of get their origin story a bit here. And
Except we don't.
yeah.
Because of a weird production thing in the start of because they specify that's not the same Agumon we meet later on. They
Yeah,
literally
it
say
is
that
not the same one.
which is retconned in Digimon. They put no, it's the same one. He just lost his memories at some point.
I do have to throw this out here. It is so weird hearing Kari's voice again in this context because she's also in Beastars as the rabbit. So it's so weird flashing back to this and being like, oh, this was a very different character with the exact same voice.
Yeah. Do you remember when you saw it in theaters, do you remember enjoying it?
I mean, I was a little kid, so like I
So
was a
yeah.
little kid. This was bright and shiny. Like the middle part of the movie is really what sticks out to me the most from my memories with like the Digimon like multiplying and War Greymon and all that, like going through the fight to keep them from nuking Colorado. By the way, they do almost nuke Colorado. That is a part of this movie. But I remember as a kid really liking it a lot. I can see where all of the effort went into this movie because I loved Digimon, and but man, as an adult, it's a bit of a slog at the end. I will say that.
Yeah, so I remember seeing the cinemas as well. And I think it was just there was a novelty to seeing a show on in cinemas. Like it's hard to explain to kids nowadays, but it was decently rare for like for that to happen in any sort of way, shape, or form. I think I went like I know for like a couple of months. This in my school was like the birthday party film that when you go to cinema because small town we didn't have much to do,
Yeah.
so that probably kind of colors my memories a bit. It's like we had a lot of fun. I'm not sure if I enjoyed. I don't remember the film as much. I remember we saw Digimon. But I was with my friends, and these days it wouldn't be my choice for a birthday party film.
I remember scenes from the film more than I like remember the film. Like I remember the giant Agumon. I remember Kari with the whistle. I remember the the nuclear bomb. I remember Ty and Izzy having the most unhinged conversations. Mom's potato juice, I also remember. And I'm mad about it still. I was mad about it as a kid, and I'm mad about it now.
Uh, I have to say, I mean, like, I don't think this is the worst thing I've picked.
No.
Um, and I'll still take this over at least the 2 hour Yu-Gi-Oh movie and Duel Masters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what really hampers this is just the end of part two. Just feel is he, Jeff Nimoy's right. It is such a perfect ending. The villain is defeated, and they try and keep the villain going by saying, "Oh, the virus that makes this Willis's Digimon go weird is the same virus," but they kind of just go inside and stab it once. It's not a climactic battle. It does not feel like an ending. So I will say that I really like the three movies individually. Because the third part is they lose over 40 minutes from that third part, which does not help. So you'll notice in the final sort of sequence, a lot of the Digimon are digivolving back and forth without it ever being announced. That's because of cuts. So if you stop at the end of part two, then like wait a couple of days and then just go watch the full Digimon 02 movie on its own, it's a much better experience. Digimon 02 is great, but basically it's like watching one film, then turning on another film and stopping halfway through.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely kind of has that kind of disjointedness to it. I also like one of the things I've also appreciated about Digimon coming back to this is its depiction of what we think of cyberspace in the year 2000. Because
You
that's a
mean Al
novelty in
Gore's
itself
internet?
too. Yeah.
There is something just really kind of cute about it now, because like there's at least one point where they say we need more internet, which I was like, oh, it's
What
a series of tubes.
I loved like the Windows Millennial version like screen that pops up on Izzy's computer where it's like, no, that's like Windows 98, Windows Millennium, like Windows XP that just popped up, and that tickled me pink.
I also love the when they try and connect to a military satellite by using one of the really old phones. This is also especially like Japan in this era had a big thing for like this is the era where phones were magic, because this is a couple of years before you get like Magic Ranger where they had the phones, Kamen Rider Fies where his thing is a phone. Mobile phones were the coolest thing in the world, but now you look at it and go, my god, it's just a brick. It's like, oh, you can plug it in and access the internet, and there's just me looking at my smartphone like, yeah.
I mean, the entire Digi world is run on a 56K modem. Like,
Yeah.
You've got to upload the Digimon to the internet. Let's hope your Google Drive has space.
Yeah, yeah. You can't call while you're uploading Digimon.
this is pre-Google.
I mean, the ultimate irony of this is we're recording this via Zoom, via live video, when the entirety of Digimon, all the communication around the world with these kids is by emails. And they kill the villain by sending him so many emails, he can't move.
Yeah.
They
The past is
essentially,
a
I mean,
different country.
yeah, so is it like a phishing scheme? Do they like abuse his bandwidth until he crashes? What exactly is going on here?
He abused his bandwidth until he crashed. You remember when you were a kid and you had those AOL online discs, and like if somebody was using the computer and you were trying to do something, your mom picked up the phone and everything crashed out immediately. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically the same thing.
I was thinking because they said he's eating data, and it's like he can't stop eating data. So we just gonna the old thing: if you have anything that can absorb something, the way to kill it is to overload it.
Yeah. And we're for God knows how many Dragon Ball villains.
At least
How many
they take
Star
care of the
Trek,
madness.
Yeah.
Star Trek, DC Comics, Marvel Comics,
Yeah.
All of fiction.
all of fiction. But
There's 3 storylines.
Overload the glutton.
I do have to just briefly point out that this dub, while not as unhinged as last week, is still a little unhinged in places, and they didn't think I'd notice, but I did.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's a fair assessment. There's a couple moments where and it's always the asides
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Like there was one line where Kari's like, and me and TK went out to do this, half because for fun, and half because I wanted to make Davis jealous. It's like, girl.
There's like there's a whole bit of the two of them arguing because one of them vomited in the other one's hat.
Yeah.
Jeff and I basically has a thing of like that we worked backwards to get a lot of these jokes, and apparently there were a lot of jokes they just weren't allowed to make. My favorite one he lists, his personal favorite is Joe when Diboremon's eating through New York. He's like, he's heading for the subway system, and Ty replies, "Good, that will slow him down for sure." The joke they wanted was Izzy saying he's headed to Yankee Stadium, and for Ty to reply, "The Yankees don't need him; they need pitching."
That is such a good joke for that time period.
Well,
That is like
especially
such a
because
weirdly good joke.
Jeff Noy points out that they were writing this when the World Series was on, and
Hmm.
he was exceptionally annoyed because he couldn't watch the World Series because they had to write this movie. That's
That's
also
really funny.
where the because the whole thing of the mother can't cook. They worked backwards from because midway through the one kid has to run to the bathroom. In Japan, he just has to run to the bathroom. They realized, oh wait, he's been drinking everything the mom gives. So what if we make her a bad cook? And then that's why. So that whole sequence is backward engineered from that one shot.
That's actually kind of clever. There's a lot of creativity that goes into this hodgepodge of thing.
And
I mean, there's a lot of recycled shots now that you think about it, though. Like, how many times do we see the crying baby Digimon that suddenly doesn't that like lights up? Like, we get that shot a few times.
oh yeah,
I, I also, I love Digimon's design philosophy a lot of times where it's like this this is a wolf. What's it going to turn into? A wolf with pants. Like I like that you either have that or it's like this is a cat. What is that going to become? A sexy cosplay lady. And like I love how unhinged Digimon design philosophy is. It's so because Pokemon there's a progression.
Yeah.
Digimon you have no idea what you're going to get.
yeah. Angela Woman is still one of my favorite designs. For just you look at the phases of that design, and how do you get from A to B? It's like, oh,
I mean, if you look at Patomon, who's like a little potato with wings, and then he becomes like a sexy cosplay man.
biblically accurate angel.
Biblically accurate angel. How did we get here?
Also,
I
Digimon hasn't, if in case you haven't checked out Digimon since the 90s, it hasn't become more sane over time. They've got weirder. There's some really weird modern Digimon.
Gundramon is probably my favorite, where it's just a dragon made out of guns. It's like that's awesome. I don't
Yeah,
care.
yeah. Which is the one that they was like a bomb that they had to retool into like an orange.
Oh,
Oh,
God, I can't remember its name.
I
I
mean,
know.
one of my
Like, because this was like post 9/11, it's like we can't have a giant bomb Digimon running around. Make him an orange.
yeah. There's another one where it's like it's a ghost. It's like a regular ghost, and then it digivolves and it gets a hat.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the Mexican one, which has the sombrero and the weird teeth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
I
Digimon.
remember the bomb Digimon becomes the name of the edited Digimon is like Citramon or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm. It's starting to come back to me now. Like, I
Foggy,
just,
foggy memories.
I just need to like appreciate that piece of it because like the kids in Digimon are all like very normal anime protagonist children, like
Yeah.
arguably more normal than most. And then all of a sudden, hey, kiddo, how would you feel if this bug thing became a samurai?
I'd feel great.
I feel great.
I remember one of the Digimon like gets like bandoliers to like signify that they've like leveled up and it's just like okay.
I mean, the rabbit in this just gets some pants.
Yeah.
Yes. You just all you get is pants like that because there's like two branching paths for Digimon evolutions: pants and guns, sexy person. Like that's really what it goes off to.
Ah, the two genders.
The two genders: pants and guns, sexy human.
It's especially funny because Digimon has like a lot of things will do split evolution. That's what we get with like the armor evolution in the third half, which is another problem with the third half of this. We introduce a whole new set of Digi evolutions, which probably made sense if you were a child and had seen Zero Two, but I hadn't. So, pardon. Uh, so you get stuff that can come kind of like six different things. I think it's the newer Agamon. I wrote something about it ages ago, and there's a flow chart to work out what it evolves into because each stage is like splits into three, and it's like, oh god,
Oh yeah, no,
how
Digivolution got crazy.
turn the GBA upside down, give it a shake on a full moon, and it'll become Dark Agamon or something. Oh god,
They're kind of like Tamagotchis in that way, where you never know what you're going to get based on the games you're playing.
and it will suddenly die and become a blob.
And I do like the baby Digimon just being like little heads with ears. Like I think that there was like when the one pops up, Ty is like it looks like a cross between a baseball and a contact lens or something like that. It's like, dude, that's what they all look like.
Yeah.
Please don't hit it with a bat tie, please.
Hey, he's a soccer guy.
I know you're American.
Is Ty American?
they kind of act like he is, but it's very clearly Japan. And then we have Colorado. Actually, talking of Americans, I have to say I love their way of getting, because there's very little footage of Willis. Even in 02, there's very little footage of young Willis as a kid with his little Digimon. So the first half, we have Willis is kind of like Godot in that we keep, oh, Willis has sent me an email. Have you heard about Willis? Willis once said. It's like we don't see Willis, we just hear about him third hand. Which again, I think is part of the reason I don't like part 3 doesn't really work, because we're there introduced to Willis and he's not that interesting. Like, I don't understand why Ty would be talking about him in such revered tones. For he's just a kid.
He loves the ladies.
He wants a kid.
Love Willis.
The ladies love Willis from Colorado.
From Colorado, who's in New York on the Brooklyn Bridge for some reason, because that's the only place in New York.
As you do.
As you do. The most unbelievable part about that, by the way, is I'm standing on the Brooklyn Bridge with no other people there. No matter what time of day it is, that it is packed.
I thought the least realistic thing was them being on Amtrak and being surprised when it was delayed.
That's also the fact that they put Amtrak on there, like it said Amtrak, that blew my mind. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Like, this Amtrak train is cleaning on time. My immersion has gone.
Was that an ad? Did they have to pay for that to use Amtrak?
I didn't find anything. They must. Surely, maybe Amtrak weren't paying attention, or maybe Amtrak's lawyer got there via Amtrak and is thus still on the train somewhere.
He's still on that train.
One day I will sue the Digimon.
He's digivolved into
the statute of limitations is passed. They had to throw in the towel on that one.
I saw that Amtrak thing and I was like, did Amtrak pay to get advertisement in this kids movie?
Oh, no. If it had been modern Amtrak, they would have, and the train would have digivolved into something.
There has to be a train Digimon.
Talking of sponsorship, we have to talk about it. When you saw this in the cinema in certain countries, you've got the Angela Anaconda short. But the Canadian animated series with children with terrifying newspaper faces that look like they've been ripped from missing persons posters. That short, yeah, it's not a great short. It was literally there to bulk out the runtime and to promote another Fox Kids show, because Angela Anaconda was the lead into Digimon on Fox Kids. At the time, it wasn't very popular. A lot of people disliked it. People love it today because of the very famous 4chan story of a guy whose parents got divorced over the Angela Anaconda short. Because I can't remember the full thing of the story, but it's like, oh, we went to see it as a kid. My parents were already kind of a bit annoyed with each other, but they started arguing, thinking they were in the wrong cinema. And that argument was the straw that broke the camel's back, and that's why my parents got divorced. I think it's also like they've taken me to Digimon to try and be like calm, to try it as like a save the marriage, and this is what happened. What's especially funny is the Angela Anaconda short isn't even original. It's an episode where they've added Digimon elements to it. It gets shown later in the TV series where they just replace all mentions of Digimon with a generic film, like a generic Godzilla film.
I love that. That's amazing.
Even the short for this movie is recycled.
Jeez.
American Digimon resists original ideas.
Hey, you know what? It's kind of a microcosm of the internet to begin with. You know, everything goes back to that Newgrounds meme that you saw when you were 12.
I love it because it's so very Fox Kids, because they're like, so yeah, obviously Pokemon had Pikachu's Vacation. Why did that do well? Well, it did well because it was a short film before a movie. Not because it was cute and it was a new... No, just because it was a short film before a movie. That's what the kids want.
I just remember we were all talking about, Pika Blue, which we found out was Meryl by we were like, it's the new Pokemon. This is the first of the new generation of Pokemon. Digimon, I've never seen an episode of Angela Anaconda. I guess I have now. But
Join us next week when we start Angela Anaconda. No, it's not very good.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Angela Anaconda does sound like a children's book character, like
Yeah. That or a Metal Gear character.
Yeah,
definitely a Metal Gear character. Still in a Dream, Snake Eater.
I mean, Meryl sounds like a Metal Gear character.
To be fair,
I do want to briefly go back to the music because I think it's such an interesting period of time for kids'
Sure.
movies.
Yeah.
Because this was not the only franchise that was like pulling in these like soft rock anthems to put them in. Like also just Smash Mouth's All Star is a song that is near and dear to my heart. But we all need to remember that it came from a Ben Stiller movie. We all need to remember that.
Uh, I mean, well, Smash Mouth for me, like All-Star is going to be more attached to Shrek, right?
But it was developed specifically for the movie Mystery Men,
Yeah.
which is Ben Stiller, and it's wild that that song definitely better than Mystery Men in a lot of ways, but also like the only thing that survived from Mystery Men.
trying to think, is All Star then All Star like probably the most used song for soundtracks, like outside of classical piece? Because it was used in a lot. Like people, Shrek was its use in Shrek was basically parodying the fact that All Star is used in everything.
Hmm.
There's a few other films I remember it being in as well. So like before Shrek. So
Maybe Smash Mouth just doesn't charge to use it.
I can only presume.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's the one free song.
I don't
What
think it was a hit before.
what's the song that plays in the beginning of Ponyo?
It's
That's
not
like
All Star.
it's
It's
not All
not All Star.
Stars. Is it 1 week?
It's one. I think it's 1 week.
Yeah.
That's Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah, because there's just a period where like Bare Naked Ladies 1 week is in everything.
I
Like it's
have a
in,
theory. I have a theory about this. 1 week, I think is one of the first Western songs to directly reference an anime.
oh, because of Sailor Moon.
Yeah, Sailor Moon got the Boom anime babes. I think it's the only one that does it in the beginning, and I think that that's why. I think that that is why it got used in so much stuff.
Yeah.
Bare Naked Ladies first weebs.
That's why they're so popular in Canada.
Yes. Oh, it is such a weird. There's so many. We end with like Kids in America as well, which is
Yeah, Kids in America is a crazy pull.
just a very random pull.
To solidify that these are kids and like, even though they're clearly Japanese
Hey,
inspired.
one kid is in Colorado and also New York because New York and Colorado are famously very close to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a kid in America. The other's just visiting.
The
Yeah.
others are just visiting. Well, who was it who needed like Ty had a whole joke about a kid not having a green card. I think he was talking about Matt, right? Like just being in
No,
America for no
he was
reason.
talking about Dablamon because it was going in the American internet.
It's like you don't even have a green card. Like, whoa, Ty, relax.
That's a bizarre joke for you to make, young Japanese boy.
Hmm.
What websites have you been going on? Before we end, I want to bring up the reviews for this film are as delightful as you think they are.
Great.
25% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, 60% audience score. This was definitely a film where after Pokemon, I think a lot of local reporters were like, this is a review where I can go and get my Bon Mots in. So maybe I can get myself into sort of a Siskel and Ebert kind of role. Because there are a lot of these reviews where you get the impression that these gags were written before they saw the film. My personal favourite is Michael Thompson from the BBC, whose review has given me some visuals I'd never want to think about again. A big part of the sheer glee of youth is that special sense of belonging to a club which slams the door in the face of adults. Thus, any kid who watches Digimon the movie will only have that particular feeling increased. Indeed, grown-ups will not be expected to like this any more than mince and custard sandwiches. If you haven't seen the successful Digimon Digital Monsters, I hadn't, you'll initially find this film as obscure and unnerving as a crash course in Chinese. Why is Chinese unnerving? I don't know. He's British, probably racism. Are the Digi-destined, the kids on screen, meant to be digitally created, or are they simply flesh and blood, i.e. loud, American kids who can enter the world of Digimon Digital Monsters? Both of those concepts are clearly explained in the film there, maybe pay attention. And then he finishes it off by saying, where is it? In a high-speed film with endless visual distractions and occasional sparky dialogue, the baddest beast wants to nuke Japan, while the most entertaining one is a pink head and two floppy ears that stick to your face. You know it makes sense.
You know it makes sense.
I worry how much you're intimidated by Chinese, but apparently very excited about someone getting nuked. I think that shows something about you, Michael Thompson.
I'm
Yeah.
just imagining this being said to me by a man in like a white tie suit with a monocle on in the most posh British accent I could possibly
So like
imagine.
the Monopoly man.
Yeah, the Monopoly man, but make him British.
Well, another review I found, which has since been taken down. This is from a newspaper. He was saying that like if you can deal with children screaming "fart power" for 2 hours, I'm like what? They don't say that in the film.
They
Like
should.
this
Maybe
is
that
from
was
like
his
some local
theater
paper.
experience.
Yeah.
I'm like, did your medication wear off? Like,
He really wanted the fart power.
Also, not for nothing, just quick sidebar. Sorry for all British people about to hear me say this, but like mince and custard sounds like a thing that would happen in Britain. Like I don't know, it just sounds like it would.
no,
Fish
no,
fingers
no.
and custard.
That was a Doctor Who joke, though.
I know, I'm aware.
No, no. Mincing custard is the name of the very effeminate guy in the sitcom.
Oh.
Look
Is
at
it
him. He's
really?
no. But mincing is a slang term for walking, and custard is yellow and watery. So I can imagine on the buses they're being like, "Oh, look at that mincing custard."
That does sound like something you would hear from someone trying to like, oh, look at his peas and carrots, that kind of thing. It's
You
Yeah.
went to
very
public
old-timey.
school. That's what one boy would probably
You
been
went
called.
to public school.
It's the other way around in the UK.
The
Yeah.
British slang is crazy. But what are our
But
final thoughts?
Uh well, I don't think I'll be doing any of the Digimon Adventure movies for my picks moving forward. I think I'll stay in my lane, maybe do like another Dragon Ball or something. I don't know. There's an entire month of Miyazaki I can draw from and probably should. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
That's
this
all you
is
got. It's self-deprecation.
Yeah.
this isn't bad. The third act is kind of a letdown after the second act, but it's still a pretty enjoyable time. You'll get through it all right. I will say, if you get the chance, in 2023 they released a Blu-ray called Digimon the Movies, which contains this movie and the three short that make it up with an English dub by the new Digimon cast. Get that disc because the very first Digimon Adventure short is really good. It's one of my favorite little bits of anime because it's that first segment basically, but longer. I love how it treats the Digimon like these weird, unknowable kaiju to the point that my opinion of this film is slightly tarnished. But the fact I really like that original short, but I get obviously why if you're trying to sell kids toys to kids, you probably don't want your marketable monsters to be weird, unknowable kaiju. But yeah, I would get that. I would get that disc. This movie is fun, but these shorts on their own, I think, are a better experience. They're just more well composed, and you finish two, you wait a little bit, and then you watch three. It's like, as a separate movie, it's a lovely experience. As a final part to a story that's already ended, it's just not as good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this is more of a nostalgia bomb for me because I do get to have those little moments. But I agree. I think the original shorts are probably a better watching experience in general. But this is fun. It's a fun way to blow some time. It is very hard to come across in the wild, though. I did have to use some not so legal means to find it. But the main thing I'm happy about is that we managed to make it through this entire rewatch without mentioning Summer Wars even once. And that makes me spitefully very happy.
Next
But
week,
that's
Summer Wars.
damn it. Summer Wars is great. Nobody needs to go into my trauma around that movie. But that does mean that we've pulled into our final destination. That is right. It is time for us to disembark from Toonami Absolution. We want to thank you once again in talking about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. We have been your Digi-Destined. My name is Alyx.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John.
And we'll see you next time. Bang.